Hi everyone, this is Simon from revituni.com, and in this short course I would like to explain to you how to work with coordinate systems in Revit. Coordination is a very important process in every project. We are working in real world environment and have to position the project on site and in real coordinates. So especially for the beginner users, that process in Revit might be confusing. We have survey points, project base points, stuff are moving around on site. We have all the participants in the design process, structural designer, architect, MEP designer, all of it has to be coordinated. So I would like to summarize that knowledge for you. And I have to admit that even for me as an advanced user, it took some time to understand all the perks and all the details of that process. I'm planning to split this course into two parts. First would be coordinating on site, and second would be coordinating between disciplines like architect, structural designer, and MEP. So without further ado, let's jump into the task. On my screen, you can see a very generic site model. Each project has something that is called site view. If you start a new project, it's already there. So if you go to this view, you can see those two symbols. They are now on top of each other. If I use a tab key, I can select each one of them. So first one, I will move it here. It's called project base point. Okay. And here I have survey point shared site. The triangle represents the real values, the real coordinates, and it's a global coordination system. The project base point is our local system of a building that we will use, for example, for annotating, and we usually put it somewhere at the intersection of grid lines in the project, in the corner of a building, for example. We are starting with a side view. Imagine it is a map. It's a topo surface provided by a land surveyor, and actually this project base point in this case doesn't matter for us that much. So you can put it somewhere in the corner. This is an example of a geo map site that is publicly available in Poland. Probably if you work in other countries, you have similar sites like that where you have access to all the maps and information about certain parcels. I'm choosing some random place in Poland. It doesn't matter. I would like to just warn you on certain aspects of taking such coordinate systems from sites like that. So for example, I don't know, I would like to pick a corner. So when I hover my mouse over it, in the corner you can see X and Y coordinates and the coordinate system. You see, this is what I'm referring to. And it's important to select a good coordination system. I can select a point on the map, for example, and then I will have this coordination values X, Y, and H, which I will copy later into Revit. What's important to remember the units that this coordination system is based on. For example, X and Y, it's in meters, and we have the coordination system. If you are working in your local country, a local environment, you have to understand which coordination system you have to use, because actually there are hundreds of coordination systems. And if you are using, for example, Google Maps, it is also based on some global coordination system that later you would have to convert into your local one. So it complies with your like rules and accuracy of the coordination system. Each one of them has a different coordination, you know, detail level, because Earth is round, and if you're using, for example, one coordination system for the entire world, it would be like less precise than the local coordinate systems you have in your countries, to put it shortly. So just a small warning: if you are doing a professional work, like remember, and you try to take something from Google Maps, like that's the not good idea, unless you know how to convert it into your local system, which might be actually easy with, you know, AI tools right now. So it's not impossible, but you know, it will be less precise. Anyway, what's important for me is to copy these values. So I'm copying X. I will just copy those values now to the notepad, and Z, which is height, here, and it's all in meters. So remember to match the units now in your project. I already changed that in my case to meters, but if you go to manage project units, remember to change the length parameters to meters if you are working with meters. When I was working in the United States, what actually surprised me is that there is something like feet and US survey feet, which is a little bit different. So make sure, if you are working in United States, that you pick the correct one, and the values that are shown in your project on your map are actually in one of those units. I think usually it's in US survey feet, but you know, better double check than be sorry. Anyway, I'm in Europe, so it's easier for me. I stick with meters, click OK, and OK. Imagine that the point I selected and copied to my notepad is somewhere in the corner of this parcel. Now the easiest method is to actually select something from manage project location, position, coordinates, specify coordinates at point. So I'm not touching this element. Instead, this is much easier to specify coordinates at certain point. Okay, so now I will copy those values. I will replace a comma with a dot, so Revit can read it, and click OK. Look what happened. This point disappeared. If I double click my scroll button, I will zoom extend, and you see that my entire project moved here, leaving this in point 000. Now it's good to actually position this point somewhere on the parcel. So in order to do it, I will unclip it, so it's like crossed out with a red line, and move it. Okay, I will click double scroll again, zoom in, and position this point here. So it's important to understand how the clip works. So you can imagine that when it's unclipped, you just simply move it freely, and you can see that the coordinate system changes, right? So in a way, I change this geo point to somewhere on the parcel. Usually on parcels, on the construction sites, there is a point on the parcel where we have the checked the exact coordination values, right? So it's important for the surveyor. But now we actually set up the coordination system already by entering the coordinates of a certain point. And this process of moving this point is actually more, how to put it, it's more for information, right? So it actually corresponds with the real item, a real object that will be on site. So it's usually somewhere in the corner of the parcel. So I will put it here and clip it back again. So in a way, imagine I'm like now digging it into the ground, like putting stick in the ground. So it's there and it should not move anymore. You can see that those values are corresponding with values that I copied from GeoPortal, right? And once it's clipped, if I start to move it, you see, I'm actually relocating entire world. So if I move it by mistake, you see, now this point is actually representing, like this position represents my values. So it actually shows it's actually a mistake, right? Because I moved in a way the entire like coordinate system. So it's important that once it's here and once the position of this point is correct, you should not move it. So it's best even to pin it. Actually, it is also a good idea to use annotation tool, spot coordinates, right? So I will just change the scale, right? So we can always verify that this point is actually correct. If you are a beginner, it's good to actually sometimes double check these values, have it written down somewhere, these coordinations, and make sure from time to time, if you are especially moving stuff around the project, to make sure that it's actually in the correct. As I mentioned earlier, this project base point is not important because we are focusing only on the site, on the topography, but it would be important in the project of a building. So I will explain it to you in other lessons. First step is ready. We have a global coordination systems set up.